The Roman Empire, a colossal power in its time, stretched its influence far and wide, from the sun-baked deserts of Syria, where their legions marched under scorching skies, to the misty wave-battered shores of Britain, a testament to their ambition and reach. They were masters of conquest, forging a vast domain with its highly disciplined legions, renowned for their unwavering resolve and tactical prowess. Yet, when we look at the map of their sprawling empire, a clear northern boundary stands out, a line that marks the limit of their expansion. Scandinavia, a land that Rome certainly knew of, its existence documented in their histories, but a land they never chose to invade or occupy. Why did Rome, the seemingly unstoppable conqueror of so many diverse lands and peoples, ultimately stop here, at this northern threshold? The answer, as is often the case with the Romans, lies in pragmatism, a calculated assessment of costs and benefits. Scandinavia was geographically remote, climatically harsh, a land of long, dark winters and challenging terrain. More importantly, it offered relatively little wealth or resources to tempt Roman ambitions, especially when weighed against the potential difficulties of conquest. Lingering memories of past military disasters, like the devastating annihilation at Teutoburg Forest, where Germanic tribes ambushed and destroyed Roman legions, haunted Roman military strategy and decision-making, serving as a stark reminder of the dangers of overextension. The risk of another costly and humiliating defeat, far from their supply lines, in unfamiliar, unforgiving terrain, populated by fierce and independent tribes, was simply too great to justify the potential gains. Instead of invasion, Rome strategically drew a line, choosing a path of trade and diplomacy over the expensive and uncertain prospect of military conquest. They profitably acquired valuable northern goods, such as prized amber and sought-after furs, without incurring the heavy costs and bloodshed that a full-scale invasion would inevitably entail. Thus, in Scandinavia, Rome, at the height of its power, recognized a frontier that was simply not worth crossing, a testament to their strategic acumen. Scandinavia's unique and challenging geography was, in many ways, Rome's worst nightmare. A land so different from the Mediterranean heart of their empire. Immense dense forests, jagged mountains that seemed to claw at the sky, and icy fjords that cut deep into the land. The climate was brutal and unforgiving, with winters that stretched on for what seemed like an eternity, and would cripple any Mediterranean army, accustomed to warmer climates and easier living. Roman soldiers, utterly unprepared for the biting cold and relentless snow, would have quickly faced starvation, disease, and utter despair. There were no well-maintained roads, only vast, untamed wilderness. No grand cities to conquer, just small, scattered villages, offering little in the way of strategic value. No central power to decisively defeat and claim victory over, and ultimately no riches to plunder that would justify the immense effort. Only endless costly skirmishes against a resilient and elusive foe. Supplying and maintaining an army in this harsh environment would have been logistically impossible, with vital food and equipment constantly at risk of being lost to the unforgiving elements. The archaeological record clearly indicates that Roman goods arrived in Scandinavia primarily through trade and cultural exchange, not through military conquest. For Rome, the immense cost of a full-scale invasion far outweighed any potential rewards or strategic gains. Therefore, Scandinavia remained unconquered, not simply by chance or circumstance, but by a deliberate and calculated Roman choice, a strategic decision based on a clear understanding of the challenges and limitations. The Roman legion thrived in open battlefields, not tangled forests. In Scandinavia, their tight formations would collapse, leaving them vulnerable to guerrilla tactics. Local warriors, masters of ambush, would strike and vanish into the woods. Roman armor and supplies became burdens in the wild, making soldiers easy targets. Logistics, the backbone of Roman power, would fail without roads or cities. Every mile north stretched supply lines thinner, risking starvation and defeat. Rome's military machine was built to conquer and govern, but Scandinavia's scattered people and harsh terrain made occupation impossible. The empire wisely kept its legions where they mattered most. Rome and Scandinavia forged a unique relationship. One built more on the exchange of goods than the clash of arms. It was a connection rooted in mutual benefit, where both societies found value in what the other offered. The presence of Roman artifacts discovered far north in Scandinavian soil serves as tangible evidence of this commerce, a testament to peaceful interaction rather than military conquest. These weren't spoils of war, but items of trade. In return, Scandinavians traded valuable resources like amber, sourced from the Baltic Sea, and sought-after furs. These were exchanged for Mediterranean luxuries, such as fine wines, delicate silk fabrics, and intricately crafted pottery. This influx of exotic goods elevated the status of Scandinavian leaders, allowing them to display their wealth and gaining prestige at home. Rather than outright domination, Rome primarily managed its frontiers through diplomacy, engaging in negotiations and establishing agreements. This approach involved keeping Scandinavia at arm's length, maintaining a respectful distance while securing its borders. However, as Rome began to decline, its power waned and its infrastructure crumbled. Simultaneously, the north grew stronger, its tribes consolidating and its settlements expanding. They were also developing crucial skills in shipbuilding and seafaring, mastering the art of navigating the open seas. Centuries later, the Vikings, the descendants of those unconquered tribes who had honed their maritime skills, sailed south, their longships cutting through the waves to raid the now vulnerable former Roman lands. The very seas that had once served as a natural barrier, protecting Scandinavia from outside forces, now became highways, facilitating the expansion of Viking power and influence across Europe. In the end, the frontier that Rome had strategically left untouched, choosing diplomacy over direct control, ultimately became the springboard for a new era of conquest, ushering in the age of the Vikings.